Lifespan and age is not just background information in GURPS. Your lifespan is something you can extend or shorten with certain traits, and your age is also something that you can alter with some advantages. So let's talk about the aging mechanics in GURPS. Age is brought up for the first time on page 20 of GURPS basic set. It says that cinematic children are small adults, more or less, but to build a realistic child, you'll have to decide what his attributes would be in his full-grown form, reduce them and purchase the reduced values. A human infant has 30% of his adult strength score, 40% of his adult dexterity, 50% of his adult IQ, and size modifier -3. A 5-year-old has 60% of his adult strength, 70% of his adult dexterity and intelligence, and size modifier -2. A 10-year-old has 80% of his adult strength, 90% of his adult dexterity and intelligence, and size modifier -1. For non-humans, increase or decrease these values proportionate to their lifespan. A child might also have social disadvantages such as dead broke and social stigma minor, but usually also has parents as a patron, which balances things out. When you reach old age in play, you have to make health rolls to avoid attribute loss. There are 3 aging thresholds, and the frequency of attribute loss rolls increases after you cross each one of them. For humans, these thresholds are 50, 70 and 90 years. Beginning at age 50, make aging rolls once a year. At age 70, roll every 6 months. At age 90, roll every 3 months. Aging rolls are a series of 4 health rolls, one for each of your basic attributes: strength, dexterity, intelligence and health. If you are playing with an alternate attribute set, you have to decide which ones of them are affected by age and which ones are not. You cannot use luck on these rolls. These rolls are modified by the settings medical tech level -3, fit, very fit, unfit and very unfit. A failure reduces the attribute in question by 1. A critical failure, or any roll of 17 or 18, reduces it by 2. If any attribute reaches 0 from aging, you die a natural death. At the GM's option, you may lose advantages or gain disadvantages such as hard of hearing, decreased appearance or chronic pain. This loss should be equivalent in terms of points to the lost attributes. That's pretty much it for the rules, but there are also some traits that affect aging. Extended lifespan doubles all aging thresholds for each level. Longevity extends your lifespan in a different way. You only fail aging rolls on 17 or 18, or only on an 18 if your modified health is 17 or better. Unaging simply makes it so you do not grow old naturally or unnaturally. Your age is fixed at any point you choose. This advantage has the age control enhancement that lets you age in either direction at will, at up to 10 times the normal rate. GURPS Psionic Powers introduce a new enhancement and a new limitation. The life extension limitation makes it so it takes conscious effort to avoid aging. Roll against IQ once per year. If you succeed, you do not age that year. Critical success lets you become 1D years younger, and a critical failure makes you age twice that amount instead. The Halt Aging enhancement lets you prevent others from aging, as long as you keep in contact with them. The enhancement value depends on how often you have to stay in contact with them. Short lifespan does the opposite thing extended lifespan does. Halves all your aging thresholds. Self-destruct makes it so when you reach your first aging threshold, you have to make aging rolls every day at -3 to health. Basically, you die in a few days. If you are going to self-destruct soon, then you have to take it terminally ill instead of self-destruct. This disadvantage just makes you die in 1 month, 1 year or 2 years. There are also 2 features that are related to aging. The first one is not subject to aging. This feature is usually applied to machines. Your body does not age, but wears out and degrades with the same effects as aging. The second one is early maturation. This one reduces your maturation rate as per short lifespan, but does not affect any other aging thresholds. This is useful, for example, for elves, so that they do not reach maturity only at the age of 200 years or so. With the traits out of the way, let's talk about ways you can age someone. There are several options, and most of them are very janky. The first one is Leech. Leech has the Still Youth enhancement on page 96 of GURPS powers. But how do you make it so you do not get any younger yourself? There's a very hard to notice line on page 73 of GURPS psionic powers under additional biokinesis abilities. Leech with Still Youth. If you do not grow younger while your subject ages, this is a minus 50% limitation. I noticed this one by accident when browsing the book. The second way is Affliction. GURPS basic set has a special enhancement for the unaging advantage age control plus 20%. It allows the user to age in either direction at will at up to 10 times the normal rate. It should be reasonable to allow age control only to get older plus 10%. If we afflict this trait on somebody, he'll begin to age 10 times faster for the duration of the affliction. With many levels of reduced time applied to unaging, not to affliction, we can increase the rate of aging to produce significant effects. However, this is quite expensive and janky. The third way is Aging Attacks. Salty Grognard was a very short-lived GURPS blog that, however, managed to produce a very few but interesting posts. One of them is a new damage type for the innate attack advantage, Aging. I really like this approach. I will link this post in the description. The fourth way is Affliction, again. While inspecting the fright check table, the following result caught my eye. 24. Major physical effect set by the GM. Hair turns white, age 5 years overnight, go partially deaf, etc. In game terms, acquire minus 15 points worth of physical disadvantages. For this purpose, each year of age counts as minus 3 points. That means that we can afflict people with extra years at plus 3% per year. Plus 10% per 1d years sounds fair too. However, this would require extended duration, truly permanent, plus 300%, and possibly cumulative, plus 400%, and that alone increases the cost by 70 points, while the extra years will only be an insignificant part of the affliction write-up. An alternative would be applying the aforementioned 2 enhancement to those 3% instead. 3 times 8 equals 24%, which we can round up to 25%. So each year of permanent aging that stacked with itself could be represented by aging plus 25% enhancement. In my opinion, this seems like a fair price. Even when such abilities exist, all the age-related traits might seem overpriced, and they probably are. Reducing their value is a very common house rule. Jason Levine lists it on his website, which I will link in the description. The values of all age-related traits, extended lifespan, longevity, self-destruct, short lifespan, are halved, except for unaging, which costs 5 points. Terminally ill no longer exists, except when granted via an affliction. And that's it. Now, after watching this video, you're probably around 9 minutes older. I hope you're happy about that.